town of Edmond, Oklahoma now has a hole in its city seal. The founders of the city had a cross in that place, and it showed the religious heritage of that town and what was important to those founding fathers. But now, after a lawsuit cost the city nearly $250,000 to defend, which they ended up losing, they had to remove the cross. They had to remove their religious heritage from that place. Rather than replacing the cross with some other politically correct symbol, the city leaders opted to just leave that space blank. It was sort of a silent protest to the court's absurdity, where they're trying to sanitize the present by altering the past. You know, there are a lot of people today that are really opposed to the cross. They see Jesus as a threat to their lifestyles and their ambitions and their beliefs. They see him as a threat to their freedoms. And so they're taking extreme measures today to remove the cross, to remove Jesus, to remove religious heritage from all public life. But they're creating a huge vacuum right at the center of our heritage and our hopes. The Apostle Paul wrote, "I say this now with tears. Many live as enemies of the cross of Christ, but their destiny is destruction. Their God is their stomach, and their glory is in their shame. Their mind is on earthly things, but our citizenship is in heaven, and we eagerly await a Savior from there." You see, the cross is a symbol of our past sins forgiven and our future hope in heaven. However, we shouldn't be surprised that there are enemies of Christ today, because from the time that he first arrived, Jesus had people trying to kill him. When he was born, King Herod tried to take his life. When he began his ministry, the people in his own hometown of Nazareth, they tried to throw him off the edge of a cliff. Then, after 3.5 years of intense opposition, the religious leaders finally succeeded in nailing him to a cross. Now, why? Why was Jesus so hated that his enemies were determined to get rid of him? Why were they elated at the sight of Jesus suffering on the cross, so much that they even taunted him in his death? Well, let's look at the cross this morning from the perspective of Jesus' enemies, who were delighted by the crucifixion. This is important because if you live a genuine Christian life in the real world, you're going to discover that occasionally you will have opposition as well.